Well, hello everyone. My name is Rick Passek, the FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today, another little buzzer, Chironomid buzzer pattern. This one's a little different, but it's one that looks really cool underwater, and I've done well with it over the years. Not in this style. I've actually tied it more with a beadhead, traditional North American beadhead Chironomid. This is going to be more of a buzzer style instead, with cheeks and stuff. But you'll see it's a really cool little pattern. So starting off in the vise, we have a Hends BL 550 in a size 14. It's a clink hammer hook. Again, if you've watched any of my last few videos, you'll know that I really like these clink hammer hooks for chironomids. These ones from Hends, they're phenomenal. I love the shape that you end up with. So, just wax my black Nanosilk, Semperfli Nanosilk, and a 12-aught is what I'm using. I like using these Nanosilks for these chironomids because it just keeps these bodies nice and thin, and you can flatten this thread out with just giving it a counterclockwise spin. So the old man, me, for Christmas here, I got myself a new vise. I'm actually now pro team with Stoneflow through Fly Life Canada. I also picked up a tool caddy, and the old man's got a little magnifying glass that I'm using now. So through that attaches to the vise. So if you see me fidgeting around down here trying to find stuff, that's because I'm still trying to get used to using the the magnifier. So alrighty, so that's it for that portion. Now I'm just going to take one piece of Peacock Hurl. Okay, and I'm going to tie this in. Come back a bit. That's going to be my thorax head area. And again, just going to tie this in all the way down to my tie-in point there. I don't get overly concerned if I don't get every single one of these, because you're not going to really be able to tell, but I like getting as many as I can tied down. So I'm just going to tie down a bit here. I'm going to come back. My head is going to end about there. Head thorax. Now I'm going to take the Peacock Curl, and you got to be careful with this. And these, like, I'm going slow. I can pound these out pretty quick. And the reason I like these for pounding them out pretty quick is because one or two fish and they're pretty well destroyed. Because, you know, we all know how weak Peacock Hurl is, right? It's not very strong. So even here, I don't like tightening too much with the Nanosilk, because it'll cut it. Okay, so just going to stroke all that back and just build myself just a little bit of a football shape here. Just a little bit. I'm going to come back to there, and I can use whatever color I like. I really like orange hot spots for the neck. Excuse the background noise. My son is cooking. So he'll try to be quiet for the minute until I'm done here, but it's the way it is. So, alrighty. So now I'm going to tie in this cheek on one side, just loosely. Make sure that's where I want it, which it is. Other side. Now, what I'm doing here is these. Obviously, you know they've got a sharp tip. I'm just cutting that sharp tip off. Now, sorry for having to turn it, but I can't see if I don't turn it, so see how that is. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. I'm just going to pull it back just ever so slight so it stays out of that hook area, the hook eye. It's still a little bit in that hook eye, but that's okay. Just a couple more wraps here. See if I can get that to lay down. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to take my goose biots and I'm going to bring them forward carefully and up a bit. I want them on the upper side of it. See how they're on the top? They kind of wrap around the top, right? This one here kind of, see if I can get this one to come down just a little tiny bit for me. There we go. Off to the side just a bit. So 5-6 turns there. I'm just going to get my whip finishing tool. Give that a, now I'm going to hold tight and I'm going to grab my biot. I'm going to rip and grab my biot and I'm going to rip. See how that cleans that right up? You don't have to cut it and be left with anything. You rip it right off. And then another 4 or 5 turns here just to make sure everything's secured. Tighten that down. Yeah, my son's making a beautiful moose roast. The moose that I harvested this year. He's making a nice moose roast for us for dinner tonight. So he's my kid's a cook, so he knows what he's doing with this kind of stuff. So now very carefully I'm taking some Thinman here, very carefully. I'm just wanting to do the head. Try not to get, I mean you're gonna, no matter, well, I won't say no matter how good you are, but you're gonna get the odd little piece of that peacock caught in there. It's just the way it is, but mainly you want to make sure that these biots are covered. It's the main thing, because the biots will get ripped quite easily. So knocked out of focus for you there. Let's see. There we go. And then I'm going to zap that with my torch, my UV torch. And I just noticed there's one biot actually right here on your side. You can see that it kind of ripped on the top there, right in the top. See if I can get that out. Doesn't really matter, but let's see if I can get that nipped out or not. I don't want to wreck it either, so no, now I can't. That's okay. So as you can see, that's the finished product. Like I said, I got a little bit too much in that. A little bit too much came out of the UV there, the resin. But that's the finished fly. Like I said, it's very, very successful for me. I've done very well with it. But it does, because this Peacock Hurl is totally exposed, it gets ripped up pretty easy. So just pound through these, get a whole. I can get probably a couple of dozen done in an hour quite easily. So, yeah, and that natural peacock's got a little bit of movement and it attracts some shine to it too when it moves in the water, right? So let's just see if I can get that wet for you. Show you guys what it does there. So when it slicks back, it looks really almost beat up, like the Chironomid shuck has been, beat up. So it does. It looks ugly when it's wet, but believe me, it works really well. This one. So yeah. Now that one was a little bit on the Peacock Hurl I used was a little on the long side. Here's another one that I tied a few days ago. You can see how much that one's quite a bit. There's something attached to that. See how that one's quite a bit shorter. I should have probably went through my pack and picked a shorter barbed Peacock Hurl for this, but you can see how much shorter that is and how buggy that looks, right? This is a little bit different. This one's tied just all copper, with copper copper thread. Right, same with, and then I got this one's got a flashback. Right, on the head section is a bit of, I used a little bit of flashback, but yeah. So give that one a shot too. If you subscribe, thank you very much. If you have not, please consider doing so. Share with your friends. Let them know about the page, and once we get up over that, right around that 2,000 mark, we're going to do another giveaway. We just had a giveaway at 1,000, and we've already got about 140 new subscribers since then. So it'll probably a few months, but yeah, once I hit that 2,000 mark, I hope to do a bigger giveaway with some Hens products and Semperfli products, and maybe some Stonefo tools. We'll see. We'll see what we can get. Alrighty, tie lines, everyone.